What's printing, people? Welcome back to Custom 3D. Today I got another great video for you. We're going to be covering 3D printing and cars. So yes, you heard it right. We're going to be talking about how 3D printing can help build cars. Now, you might think 3D printing as in miniatures and maybe a bunch of small parts, like Dungeons & Dragons statues or cool swords or things like that. But believe it or not, 3D printing is actually very useful for real-world scenarios, ranging from the automotive to actually the aerospace industries. And they've been into 3D printing for quite a while. Today, I'm going to go over an article put out by Ford titled Building in the Automotive Sandbox. First paragraph of the article that I'm going to be sharing with you today. In the middle of Dearborn, Michigan, Ford's 1,212-acre River Road complex accepts entire trains and ships full of ore, glass, and rubber. With breathtaking efficiency, thousands of workers operate massive machinery to transform the raw materials into forged trucks at a rate of 1 per minute. 4 miles away, just outside of town, sits a hyperactive lasers are tracing abstract shapes and turning liquid polymers into solids at a rate of only a few parts per day. But in the process, they're transforming the way Ford turns ideas into vehicles. Let me read you another quote here by Ford. In the last few decades, Ford has printed well over 500,000 parts and saved billions of dollars and millions of hours of work. Where it would have taken 4 to 5 months and cost $500,000 to produce a prototype with traditional methods, a 3D printed part can be produced in a matter of days or hours at a cost of a few $1,000s. You can come up with a really optimized part at the end of the day, says Paul Cisola, section supervisor of rapid manufacturing at Ford. That's all because the speed at which we can produce the prototype parts without tooling. The prototypes are used on every single part of the vehicle, and they can be driven hundreds of thousands of miles or crash tested at 70 miles an hour. Either way, the result is the same: higher quality vehicles at a more affordable price. So, in that part of the paragraph, they're referencing SLA 3D printing and how it is helping them really make the process of prototyping faster. And as you can see, when they do produce a truck, they have a lot of different parts having to move into place perfectly. And obviously, recently, that hasn't been happening. There's been a lot of part shortages, and they already had 3D printing. But now, with the power of 3D printing and it getting more advanced and more accessible, they're able to actually create parts for end use. They'll produce it, and then, if they need to post-process it in some way, they can, and they'll actually use it in the vehicles. There's not a lot of parts or anything that exists that 3D printing is used for end-use parts other than maybe 3D printers, but there's actually a golf club made by Cobra that's 3D printed, and that's pretty interesting. Not only is 3D printing saving Ford money, it's saving you money, really, at the end of the day, due to the lessened cost of prototyping and development that goes into developing a new truck. Ford ends the article with this message: but in the future, 3D printing could be used for much more than prototypes. As the technology improves, dealer garages might have 3D printers of their own to create replacement parts, making repairs easier than ever. Consumers could download modifications to create custom car accessories as unique as themselves, and Ford has already put its 3D scanners to use for projects outside the auto industry, creating replicas of dinosaur skeletons, a baby woolly mammoth, miniature race cars. So, I'm not exactly sure when this article was written because it doesn't say on the website, but this is what's going on right now. There's actually Ford dealers across the country that have been investing in 3D printers and even local 3D printing companies to help manufacture parts for cars. And it's really interesting. And this is where a lot of industries are moving towards. It's going to be a slow migration, but it's an exponential one. I think we're right at the beginning of the curve, and it's going to grow rapidly within the next 10 years. So, hope you guys enjoyed something in this video and learned something. So, thanks for tuning in. And make sure to check out all the links in the description below. Also, check out my podcast, Knowledge is Power, and listen to it. So, thanks, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.